Hi everybody, Delisa from Rooted Strength Studio here, the Creative Heretic, and today I want to talk about a new series that I have going up on my blog and on my Substack. It's called Babe Your Haunted House. The title is inspired by Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance. Has a song out called Baby Your Haunted House. The lyrics to that song have nothing to do with these posts, but it did inspire the title for the series. This series goes through kind of like your energetic spiritual home, as if it were a house. It goes through the rooms, not every single room in a house, but like the basement, the kitchen, under the bed, closets, the attic, kind of spaces where activity happens, a lot of activity. Yeah. I know, I'm doing terrible at explaining to this. Practice on being on video makes you better at being on video, right? And I look crazed today, that's okay. So this series starts out in the basement, in the foundations, what we're born into, and it's called Energy Vampires in the Basement. And it is about how the systems, whether they be like governmental systems, cultural systems, religious belief, spiritual belief systems, we are born into, they are the foundation. Sorry, I have an itchy nose. The foundation of us, right? And we don't get to pick them. We're born into them, we're raised into them. They are what is normal for us, whether that normal is something healthy or not. Right? So it starts out there, and how those systems, because a lot of the systems that we currently have in place are harmful and abusive systems, like racist white supremacy or the patriarchy and things like that. They're abusive, harmful systems, and we are born into those systems, and because we're born into them, they are so normal that they feel natural, and it takes work to, unlearn all that stuff. But these systems are like energy vampires, so they feed off of us. They can't exist without our participation in them. And we can do the work of unlearning that, kind of cutting those cords, stop feeding that beast kind of stuff. So that's where this series starts. And then it goes up into the kitchen. And in the kitchen, talks about poltergeists in the kitchen. Trying to find, why didn't I pull up my notes before I started recording this video? Because that would have been, the logical, sensible thing to do. Then it moves on to the kitchen area with poltergeists. Poltergeists are very noisy and loud and attention seeking and chaos causing. And so I talk a little bit about how it's similar to things like culture wars, political divisions, just this, especially in our current time, like what is going on in the United States and things right now. We are constantly getting just endless amounts of distraction and attention grabbing news and different things going on that are trying to pull you in a bunch of different directions, set you up into an us versus them kind of situations, so that there's never any calm, never any rest, never time to think about what is going on or how you feel about what is going to process what's going on. It's this constant state of endless overwhelm so that you cannot function properly. So you cannot do the work needed to dismantle those harmful systems. It is intentional acts of these harmful systems trying to keep in power and keep their hold onto us, right? So I put that together as like an example of a poltergeist, noisy ghost, right? And then from the kitchen, we move into the bedroom with monsters under the bed. That space under our bed, it is a liminal space. It's dark. You don't know what's under there. As a kid, you'll kind of get spooked out about it and, think about something under there grabbing you. And really, beds and bedrooms in these places are supposed to be safe spaces of rest where we feel safe and secure and can get rest, right? And for many of us, bedrooms are absolutely not that. They are places of stress, abuse, violence, all kinds of bad things happen there, where they absolutely should not be happening. And it's also part of our productivity hustle culture that we have, where rest is villainized, and people who take the time to rest and try to take care of themselves, whether because they are actively and intentionally trying to get their rest, or because they have been forced into rest because their bodies have just reached their limit, or chronic illness and things like that. It's looked as being lazy, unproductive, like you're a bad person, all kinds of negative things around rest. So talk a little bit about that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm doing a terrible job at explaining all of this, aren't I? At some point, I'll get better at these videos. These posts are scheduled to go out once a week on my Substack or on my blog. So if you are interested in actually reading them, because what I've written makes more sense than what I'm saying, because I'm just better at writing things out than speaking them. Okay. You can subscribe to Substack or onto my blog and get these posts. So from the monsters under the bed, moves on to skeletons in the closet. Oops, I'm clicking on weird things. Don't do that. And so for that, because if somebody has skeletons in their closet, it is usually understood that that is something bad, something shameful, something negative, something super secret, that if anybody found out about, they could be ruined, right? I talk about skeletons in the closet and these particular posts as representatives of things that we are shamed for, or that society thinks we should be shamed for, even though they're not actually shameful things. I mean, humans do things that they definitely should be ashamed of, and most of the time the sort of people who are doing those kinds of things don't feel any shame about them at all. But shame is used as a tool of control to help keep people small and in their place and not pushing back against shitty things, right? So I talk about that in Skeletons in the Closet. And then the last post, the last little bit, the last room is Ghosts in the Attic. And that one I talk a little bit about the kinds of things that we inherit from our family and our ancestors, that we carry with us, that they had carried and then they left to us. Some of this stuff is like even in our DNA, like things that our ancestors and parents experienced, hunger, fears, stressful, dangerous situations, that gets coded into our DNA and into our collective unconscious memory as a society, as humans, right? So I talk a little bit about that in Ghosts in the Attic. These are all like really short posts. I had planned on making this kind of like a small little nonfiction book, and I was writing it out in Notion, and then I accidentally deleted the whole thing. Like there was no saving it. And so I feel like my rewrite and going back just probably isn't as good as what I had going the first time. I don't know. Maybe it's better. I don't feel like it's better. But those are there. They'll be coming out. I'm only going to make this one video about them because you can see I'm having a really hard time talking about it. So if you want to get each of the posts, read those posts, make sure you subscribe to my Substack or onto my blog. I will put the links down below, so you can pick whatever you want to do there. If you like this kind of content, like this is just like a general overview kind of thing, but want more discussions on these kinds of topics or whatever, let me know down in the comments so I can keep making videos. I'll keep making them anyway. But thank you for taking the time to listen to me ramble on about these things, and like and subscribe if you feel like doing that.